All right, we are into the Egyptian Book of the Dead today. This is going to be something. Let me pull it up. G- Man, I had to take a little nap, man. I was tired for some reason. All right, so damn, it's something I wanted to talk about. I can't. It's probably on my phone. Uh, uh, Something I wanted to talk about, man, that was on my mind. I seen something crazy. Let me see if I could pull it up. Well, one thing, one thing I saw that D.L. Hewley had posted this. It was a good post about the origins of the song "Jingle Bells." All right, that a dude named Pierpont uh, made this song, and the dude that made this song, "Jingle Bells," Pierpont, he was into minstrel shows. Minstrel, minstrel shows. So back in the day, if you don't know what minstrel shows is, that's when people put the black face on and they start singing and acting like dumb niggas, right? Now, this I'll be telling y'all that they all bloodline related, right? So the guy that made the song Pierpont, I think is his nephew will go on to become J.P. Morgan, the banker. All right. So, which means what? Pierpont is in the bloodline. All right. So, it's not an accident, stuff that they do. All right. But this what got me right. So, I'm reading through all the comments, and people are saying, you know, damn, we can't even sing Jingle Bells. Black people like, damn, we can't even sing Jingle Bells because of this, that, and the other, right? And so I put in the comments directed at DL Hewley, like, so y'all want to give up Jingle Bells because the dude was racist and the whole racist thing behind it, but you're not gonna give up Christianity, which was given to you by your white slave masters. You ain't gonna get that up, or and in fact, why you not even giving up the God of the Bible? In fact, because the God of the Bible does what? Support slavery, right? So here you want to talk about a song that's got racist origins, but you're not even going to talk about your God that supports slavery and you know black people. You are notoriously slaves all over the world. So why you don't get that aspect up? Why there's no outrage in the comments about God damn it, we got to give up God too? He on that slavery bullshit. Motherfuckers don't want to say that though, right? They don't want to think about that, right? Come on, man, miss me with the bullshit. You know what I'm saying? Miss me with the bullshit.
No, they're afraid of all the backlash because they're gonna be talking about you. Talk about my God. You can't talk about my
Right,
God like that. Oh my Jesus.
right. And your Jesus come from where? Who sent him? His father, who is where? God. So you can't get around it. Why no outrage with Jesus? Take Jesus off these church walls. His daddy is a race. His daddy supports slavery. You know what I'm saying? So, come on, man. Jesus supports slavery too. So, that was an interesting post I did this morning because the girl was asking, she had the rods out and she was at the 1,000 rods and she was asking, some entity about Jesus. Her questions, one of her questions was, if you believe in any religion, can you still go to heaven? Doesn't matter which religion you believe in, will you go to heaven? The entity told her, yeah, you can go to heaven. It's your choice if you want to go to heaven. That's what the entity told her. That it's your choice whether you want to go to heaven. So this is a point even I missed with ramification thinking because of that was, I made light of, do you see the entity is telling you if you want to go to heaven, it doesn't matter what religion you chose, you can go to heaven, leaving it up to the soul, right? But the point I missed on that was the very fact that here's an entity telling you that you have an option whether you can go to heaven or not. It's not based off of what you believed in life. It's if the soul wants to go to heaven, it can, is what the entity said, which means it is a choice left up to the soul. So ramification thinking would be like, okay, if you got choices on whether or not you want to go to heaven, then what are those other choices are? Where else can you go? You know what I'm saying? And where else would a soul be wanting to go? Because let's just say your choices was heaven or hell, then nobody wants to go to hell. You see what I'm saying? So that wouldn't really be a choice. So by that entity telling this girl, the soul can, no matter what religion you followed in life, you can go to heaven if the soul wants to, if the soul so chooses. That entity just exposed that you have other choices, good choices of where to go besides heaven. Because we already know, based off the Pistis Sophia, don't nobody want to go to heaven. You know what I'm saying? If you can really think about it and put it in perspective, Sophia didn't want to be where she was. If where she was heaven, she didn't want to be there. She saw someplace better that she was trying to get to. You see what I'm saying? And she was punished for trying to get there. So, based off of what we've read in the School of Esoteric Knowledge, Heaven to Be, which is a bunch of different places guarded by a bunch of different entities and all of this, you know what I'm saying? It's quite funny though, come to think about it, all those places we learned about, the treasury of the light and all of this stuff, Jesus never talked too much in depth about what those places actually consisted of. He just simply told us that they were there. You know what I'm saying? But Jesus never goes into great detail in the Pistis Sophia about all of these different places that he mentions. He never says, like, what's the point of going there? What's so good about it? He never said any of that. And so when you think about it, and you think about how detailed Jesus is being when he's in the Pistis Sophia, talking about all these different emanations and different places and all of that, for him to not explain in detail about one of those places being a very good place for souls to go, I think that right there in itself is a red flag. Like I cannot recall a place during the reading of the Pistis Sophia where any of us thought, okay, well, that's a good place for a soul to go. Because Jesus never mentioned a place like that. You see what I'm saying? So this is a red flag in itself. And, you start piecing this stuff together by not just what they say, but what they don't say, what they omit. You know what I'm saying? If we paying attention, because what they not saying is just as big as what they do say. And since this is a place we talking about that's about your soul, when I heard that girl ask the entity with the 1,000 rods, that question, and the response from that entity was, yeah, you can go to heaven if that's what you choose to do. That was confirmation that to me that the soul trap is real. You don't have to go. The only way you go into heaven is you got to go in the light. That's the only way. The only let that sink in. The only way to go to heaven in this world is to go into the light. Period. You can't reach heaven if you don't go into the light. So that's once again, that's a red flag. You know what I'm saying? There's no other way for you to reach heaven unless you go into the light. Big red flag. That lets you know that going to heaven is not a natural thing to do for a soul in this makeup. But it's funny though that when a soul dies, they feel automatically drawn to the light, except the light that you are first shown is the fake light. And you're not, look at this. Although you are drawn to a light as a soul, you're not drawn to a fake light. That's why they have to send somebody out of that fake light to come out there and convince people to go into this light, because it is a fake light. You see what I'm saying? So, you're not pulled. People, so in every near-death experience, a lot of people describe their soul being pulled towards a light. But isn't it funny that nobody's ever said I was pulled into this light, the fake light? No. They see the light and they have to choose to go into it. But at the same time, they're feeling a pulling that's taking them somewhere. That's because this fake artificial light intercepts the real light. And, they put this whole production in front of you so that you can't see the real light. It's just this light, this fake light. And then they send somebody out to guide you into it. Well, that pulling of the soul, that's going home, because your soul comes from creation. So that pull you feel is your soul going back to creation, the origin of the soul. And them sending somebody out is actually a detour, trying to get the soul to go someplace else, which they are successful at doing, because, most people don't know about the soul trap theory, what they call a theory anyway, which is not a theory. We know it's the real deal. But through ramification thinking, here's somebody, unbeknownst to them, this girl doing 1,000 rods, her entity exposes it to somebody like me who's paying attention to everything they say. That's why I do them 1,000 rods, man. I'm telling you. All right. People say, oh, be careful, you're going to invite spirits into your life or whatever. Are you serious? If you read the Pistis Sophia, you will know there's already spirits in your life, fam. I don't know what you thinking. There's already people in your life, and they talk to you every day. Like some of y'all did some shit today that they wanted you to do, period. You know what I'm saying? Because unless you challenge in every step of your life, every choice from do I turn left or do I turn right? Do I wake up on the right side of the bed or the left side of the bed? Unless you analyzing your life like that, then these entities, they directing us. You know what I'm saying? You just might not pay attention unless it's a big decision. All right. But they directing us and where we go and what we do. That's a fact. All right. That's a fact. And especially when you know that you got a spirit counterfeit, what we call a counterfeit spirit attached to your soul, that's making decisions for you. In the Quran, it say the shaitans whisper in your ear, right? All these different religions tell you that there are outside forces that's after you, your soul, the individual. All right. Every religion basically tells you that there's some outside force after you. So, really thinking, you'll be like, the number one thing you'd be thinking is, why am I so important? You know what I'm saying? Most people would think that. Why are they after me? Why am I so important? And it's because you got a soul. Now, if we could really watch and tell and monitor to see, is there people that these outside forces do not go after? Then that would be telling us, if we could figure that out, that would be telling us that, oh, this person ain't real. This person is a clone. This person is You know, they from the system. They wanted a Mr. Smiths out of the Matrix. They just down here to mislead us. You know what I'm saying? Get as many people to do what they do as possible. And then that's when you get your celebrities and stuff like that. That's what they do. But your soul is a part of creation. You God. That's why I wrote that book, Awakening the God Within, because we don't know that we God, but they do. They do for sure. All right. Let's get into this Book of the Dead. Which where's that? Oh, here it is. All right. So we're going to skip over the commentary and all of that and get right to it. And I've been looking at the Sumerian text to do the next text because, that is the foundation of everything. The Sumerian text, though, we're going to have to get into some of Zechariah Sitchin stuff because the Sumerian text itself is very lacking.
That's funny how you bring that up because I'm on chapter 7 currently in the first book that he has.
On what is that? I forget the name of it.
Yeah, I have it in my drawer right now. I just got to go and get it to see the name, but I can't remember the name on top of my head. But I'm on chapter 7 right now.
Yeah, the reading of the actual Sumerian text is, we gonna read them, but it's not gonna be very informative to us without a guide.
In chapter 7, it's currently talking about what happened with the alignments of the planets and the attack from the Beerut. That's what chapter 7 is talking about.
Okay.
Yeah, well, while you're talking about that, NASA actually denied Zechariah Sitchin's the 13th planet, said that there's no such thing as planet Nibiru.
Right.
And we all know that if you read any ancient text, there's truth to that.
Exactly. Well, not just.
There is truth to that.
Well, not just.
Your two moons that are on your Visa or MasterCard, I believe it is. That is planet Nibiru and the moon that came with it. That's what that's a representation of. They know it, but they don't want to tell us. They want to keep it hidden from us.
Well, science now though is saying that there is going by the rotation of the objects that's supposed to be in the spot where planet X is, they can tell that there's a body there because the planets are, or whatever is over there is moving around it as if some object is there. You know what I'm saying? So I just actually seen a thing on that where these guys are getting credit for discovering this so-called planet X. They, NASA may not be admitting it, but the scientific community is accepting the fact that there's something there. And these two guys, I forget their names, they was awarded something for discovering it. But yeah, it's something there.
Oh yeah.
It's something there.
Yeah, I remember telling you some conferences ago that I've came across a piece of information telling me about the star constellation that the Anunnaki came from that resembles the bull or the Taurus, and it's called Aldebaran. And supposedly from them coming from Aldebaran, whenever they reach the Milky Way galaxy, that they have set up a base here that they basically called Nibiru.
Okay.
Could be, yeah. I never heard of that. So they come from a place called what?
A star constellation called Aldebaran, and it resembles the Taurus. And I told you that some conferences ago, but you be going over so much information that you don't remember everything. So I don't blame you, but
Yeah.
I've already talked about this.
Yeah. That would be interesting. I mean, you know, Taurus is in a lot of that star constellation is in a lot of other ancient texts. You know what I'm saying? About Taurus, about the bull.
Yeah, and whenever I brought it up, you had mentioned that you had seen that same star constellation
You
mentioned
know,
before.
and you know, we briefly kind of touched on this when we was talking about I think you did, Raj, when we was talking about when the children of Israel started praying to the bull. Uh, you know, that's why Yahweh destroyed the bull, because
Right, exactly.
that
The
was
golden calf.
right. That was them praying to another God. You know what I'm saying? Which could
Right.
actually, going along with what you're saying, uh, um, is could be the Anunnaki. You see what I'm saying? That Taurus
Hmm.
represents. We know Taurus represents the bull. Um,
Right.
and hold on, if I'm not mistaken, we are we leaving? What age are we leaving? I know we coming into the age of Aquarius. What age are we leaving?
We're leaving Pisces, I think.
Pisces. Okay, yeah. So where's Taurus at in relation to Pisces? Is it like, did we already leave Taurus?
Well, Pisces is water and Taurus is earth, and so water and earth go together.
Hmm. Interesting, because that's how, you know, they speak to us. A lot of the stuff that we be thinking is nothing but astrology or something to be actually related to, you know, planets and star systems and stuff like that too, because that's what astrology is basically, you know.
Right.
So yeah, that's
It's
some
all related.
interesting stuff there, Ludwig.
Well, I was gonna say, if they were worshiping the golden calf or whatever, and the Elohim are supposed to be all Anunnaki, it was basically just another Anunnaki god fighting another Anunnaki god with
Right,
the golden calf.
right. Could be because you know, first commandment. That's why Yahweh says, "Don't have no other gods before me," because there are other gods, and He's jealous of them. You know, and this is something I wanted to speak on too. Uh, you know, before it leaves me. So you know, in the Sumerian text, Marduk was promised earth. All right, which
Hmm.
is why Marduk was doing a lot of havoc, because he was promised earth, but they didn't give him earth. All right. Now, last week we was talking about the different domes that's over the ice wall, and we was looking at that map. Now, if Marduk was promised earth, you know, and I think when I made this realization, even I at the time was thinking earth was a planet and not using ramification thinking, which I tell y'all the basis of all your research should be that earth is not a planet, it's a biosphere. Now thinking to that earth is a biosphere and Marduk was promised earth, it makes sense now. The whole Anunnaki thing makes much more sense, that if Earth is a biosphere and he's promised Earth, all right, then there's other biospheres that the other ones were in control of. And that would make sense as we, you know, look back from last week on that map that showed all those domes outside of the ice wall. Then it would make sense that one, that's why we got all of these domes, is because they created a bunch of other domes outside of the ice wall, and Earth is just one of those. Is just another dome, another biosphere that has entities and beings in it that's being controlled. You see what I'm saying? Now, with there being people who have come from outside the ice wall, they don't tell us where exactly. They just say we come from outside the ice wall, and your planet is a prison planet. Then obviously there's different levels of consciousness or awareness in these other planes, these other biospheres. And maybe Earth is the most, we the most dumbest people of all here, because that's how they want it. Or maybe this is a prison planet, and you know, they wipe the memories clean of everybody that come here. Could it be possible that they don't do that to the other people, inhabitants to the dome? I mean, you know, that's out in the domes that's outside of the ice wall. Could they not be wiping their memories clean? I mean, it's something to think about. You know what I'm saying? But Yeah, it kind of makes much more sense in that regard as far as the whole story of Murdoch. Let me grab something to drink real quick.
You been working out, Roger?
Oh yeah, man.
I can
I
tell.
didn't work out today, but I do it. I work out 3 days a week, and I take 2 days off.
I can
Yeah.
tell because from the past conferences, you got like a little bit of weight gain going on, and I guess it's from the working out.
Yeah. Actually, I lost weight. I was like two. I'm gonna say about 212 somewhere along up in there.
Well,
I think I'm down to about 180.
I could be noticing muscle mass then. That's
Yeah, I'm picking up. Yeah, I'm working on muscle mass now. I fast lightly during the week, and then the following week I pick up 2 meals. I only eat once a day.
Oh, so you trick the body and you trick the
Yeah,
mind.
yeah, you have to trick it. Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So-
definitely. That's
The
definitely.
weight that I gained is muscle. See, I was all mass at one time. Now I'm lean muscle, and that's where I want to be. You know, like no more than 190, 185, somewhere along up in there. I'm 5'10", so it's perfect. You know.
Yeah, that's a
what
good
I'm
size
trying to
for
get
sure.
to.
Yeah.
I'm trying to get down to that 180, 195. All my weight go to my stomach,
Bro,
man.
hey, look here, Raw. You live
Yeah.
in Memphis. I have a black card, Planet Fitness. Anytime you want to work out, all you gotta do is holler at your boy.
I got a black car. Where you at?
No trouble. Huh?
I got a black car. Where you at?
I go to the one in Germantown.
Oh,
the one on
okay.
Summer Avenue.
Oh, that.
I go to all of them.
Yeah.
Because, you know, I get around, you know.
Yeah, we're gonna have to link up, man. I didn't know you was down here.
Yeah, I'm in Memphis, right.
Okay.
I work in Millington.
Okay, then back. Yeah, I'm gonna holler at you.
Oh yeah.
All right,
It must be hard to lose weight over there with all that good ass barbecue though. Shit.
man. This is
Yeah,
an
that-
eating
that
city.
means, we're gonna have to link up before they all turn this shit over. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
At least we see each other in person.
You got me. I don't eat meat.
yeah.
See?
See, that
You know
meat.
what's so crazy about meat is that you know how vegans say that it's healthy to not eat it, but yet there's some blood types that require to eat meat.
Mm-hmm.
So that's kind of crazy if you think about it.
Yeah.
I don't
And
know
you have
which blood
doctors
types
that
do.
will- If your body's not acting right, they'll put you on protein. They'll tell you, hey, no, you got to eat beef, you got to eat steak or
Yeah,
whatever.
I eat one meal a day, man.
Yeah, I try to eat
So,
once
like, it's kind of
once a
crazy
day
how they
too.
say that meat is not good for you, but yet some body types need it.
Now it's not good for you because of a certain bacteria that the body can react to. So it's a different chemical reaction. So your
Right.
body have chemicals and the animal body have chemicals as well.
Yeah.
So when those chemical compounds come
Yeah.
together, it's gonna cause a reaction.
Right. You have to factor this in. If I got a cow and I want to sell that cow, oh, but the cow got sick. Dang, now I got to hit him with some antibiotics. Now he ain't growing right. Oh, let me hit him with some steroids.
Well,
So
vaccines.
Yes. Eating it. Okay.
But that's what I tell people that if McDonald's and Burger King, all these burger places, like anywhere you go, they talking about the beef grind up and all that. If it's 600 million of burgers sold a day, not from only McDonald's, but just from like fast food restaurants, going out to eat, fine dining, it's still the same shit.
You know,
what I'm saying?
when you break it
Don't
down
change-
though,
don't change the preference.
with all these fast foods worldwide and all of that, they not this meat ain't real. They not serving real meat. It's impossible.
No, human is human and lab meat. It's
You
human
know,
and lab meat.
the chicken.
It's lab grown meat and human meat. I just got to put it just the way it is.
Yeah, the
That's
chicken.
exactly what it is.
They probably eat enough chicken. They
You gotta
probably
have enough cows and chickens to feed all of us.
they probably exhaust the whole chicken output for the whole world just on the Super Bowl day alone. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's no way we all are eating meat. You know, there's no way. It's no way.
There's not that much farm to grow that much in America than this.
Right.
Yeah.
No, it's not. This is a Western atmosphere, which is cold atmosphere. All the things don't grow. It's a lot of indoor. Everything will grow indoor. No outdoor growing. You gotta be in a lab of modification and bioengineers. It's 100 5 million cows farmly. It's America alone. And you tell me you selling 600 million burgers a day?
No.
Crazy.
What was you saying, Claudia? Claudia,
Can you hear me?
yeah.
Well, yeah, I was just gonna say too, I mean, even if we are eating meat, like I know that there are like a lot of cattle here in Texas. Those animals are not like getting sunlight. And like Roger said, they're getting like antibiotics too, so they don't get sick. But also too, like the way they kill them, they torture them, and all that fear goes into the meat, so it's stressed out. So
Right,
now we're
yeah,
eating like stressed
yeah.
food.
That
Exactly.
chemical, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then also too, like I don't ever see them like building cemeteries anymore. So it also makes me wonder, like,
Yeah.
what are you
Yeah.
doing with all the human remains?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. Grind them up. A burger, good old burger.
Yeah. It's sad where we living at. I mean, the times we
Yeah.
living in.
Now, now that plays on your psyche, just as any food, of course.
Yeah,
Yeah.
just any food. That's what I say. It's really important to really fast. Like, it's really important. Like, that's one of, like, I feel like that's one of the code of the key sequence to the awakening. You have to
Yeah.
fast, like you said, to control
Fasting and meditation.
meditation. I think that's when I read across the text.
Yeah.
That's
People
what they're saying, like meditation.
people who fast, they like Lisa Left Eye Lopez before she was killed. She said she fasted and she saw God. So people who fast say they see, I only
Okay.
the most I did was a
No.
7-day fast, but I could tell you that on that seventh day, I was starting to feel like lightheaded, as far as not in a bad way, but lightheaded in a kind of a good way. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Like,
That's how it's supposed to make the body feel light. You know what I'm saying? Because remember, we in the matter of density. So we all that trauma, emotion, holding
Yeah.
down the whole body. The food is a density that's making it more dense. You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
That's what I said. They don't look at all that fear shit.
All right, y'all. So let's
So
jump
that
into it.
dancing that you did, Raw, did you ever feel your blood pressure going down?
Well, I didn't feel it, but I know it did. I know it did.
It's so crazy to say that my aunt got diabetes as well, but it's just I've
Right.
been trying to help her. Of course, them Archons on her hard. They love her hard, bro. She offers that energy with the whole reaction, and you know what I mean. Just dive into the whole ignorance of it. So they love that, and that's why I don't ever get into it. But I already tell her about the help with the diabetes and stuff like that, cause I'll trigger.
Yeah. All right. So let's go ahead and get into it, y'all. We are starting the Book of the Dead, chapter 1. This is page 1. All right. So it says the beginning of the chapters of coming forth by day. And remember, when you see the phrase called coming forth, that means dying. All right. The body is leaving, the soul is coming forth from the body. All right. Coming forth by day of the words which bring about resurrection and glory, and of coming out of and entering into Amenta. Said upon the day of burial of North, or in, I'm thinking that's North. What, we don't have a footnote thing here. The victorious. Said upon the day of burial of in, the victorious. So this is not North. This is somebody's name. Of in, the victorious, who entereth after coming forth. Here is in the victorious. He said, hold on, now we're gonna have to back up because I need to know who Ian is. I didn't want this. Again is like this introduction is a table that goes through. I didn't want to read it. Well, no, there's right here is a table. Maybe we might have to read it so we can know who we're talking about.
Yeah, I was reading the introduction, and it was saying that basically this text is like the Bible in a sense, where it's got tons of like corroboration, and even the sources themselves have individual authors, different authors. I mean,
So here it doesn't say who Ian is. It says the beginning of the chapters of coming forth by day of the words which bring about resurrection and glory, and of coming out of and entering into Amenta, said upon the day of burial of En, the victorious. Okay, so now we're gonna have to bring AI in here for some
That word Amenta I've seen in the book of Thoth.
yeah, those are the halls of Amenta. So let's ask AI who is En. All right. In the opening formula of the Egyptian Book of the Dead, En is not a deity or character, but a placeholder. It stands for the name of the deceased person for whom that particular copy of the text was made. Okay. So scribes wrote in the standard text where the individual's name would later be inserted, so each scroll could be customized for its owner. All right. So that's why I said this is a formula. So we're reading formulas. We're reading these what we're about to read is actually spells. The Egyptian Book of the Dead is actually spells.
Holy shit! That whole third power to the second power in Talmud of Emmanuel and Pista Sophia, those were probably spells as well.
Yes.
Mhm.
So this is a spell we are about to read.
Yeah. Because they used the priest during the funeral ceremony to pray over the soul to have it give it safe passage through the underworld.
Right.
Because as we know, Osiris is king of the underworld. And I also learned while reading this that it really caught my attention. They said the Holy Trinity: Osiris, Isis, and Horus.
And Amun-Ra, that's
blew my mind. I say, wow, because see, they put woman, man, and child, where your Bible says God, the Father, and the Son, and left the female out.
Right. And put a ghost instead.
And put a ghost instead, correct.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
And
the
they
Bible,
actually do that to ignore the fact of the natural abilities of a woman that could be given.
right. In other words, to suppress the powers of a female. In other words, they put on their neck because women
They have a
Peter
certain
did that
divinity
shit.
about them.
huh?
They have a
That's
certain
what Peter-
divinity about them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but when Peter heard when when Jesus told the secret of Mary Magdalene, he was like, "What? Jesus ain't told you that?" So he just like, you don't want that woman authority around the world, and then Roman came across, and and then start doing that.
Because they badgered women throughout the Bible. Here's a perfect example: the woman that was caught in adultery. Jesus gathered everybody around, and they said, "Woman, where are all these men? Where are your accusers?" And they said, "Oh, they're nowhere to be found." And so Jesus said, "I find you not guilty." And he told her, "Sin, no, leave and sin no more." Because it just goes to show they wanted to stone her to death, but they said, if any of you men here are not guilty of sin, then cast the first stone. And all the men start walking away because they were guilty, because they all said, and so they walked away. But like I said, they wanted to always badger the woman in the Bible instead of giving her credit. Another example: women were told that they could not teach in church. Go home and ask your husband, be quiet. That's in the Bible too. That's in one of Paul's epistles.
Yeah.
The reason being is because the elites knew that if an important woman was to get in position, that she can maneuver all the shit that they wanted to do originally. Because a woman knows how to sidetrack a man from his mission. And all we have been dealing with is man's mission, and never involving a woman's word, because it can maneuver what a man wants to accomplish.
That's why the world is so screwed up now. I give you a prime example. I think she ran the country over 70 years, and nobody ever said, "Get that wench out of office." And I'm talking about Queen Elizabeth. Okay, so a woman can lead, and a woman can guide and direct, but these elites, they don't want to have that because they want to be in charge. Period.
Yeah, that
Yeah, only for the simple fact that they know that a woman's word can sidetrack a man's dream of achievement that he wants to
Right.
accomplish.
well, you gotta also understand where does that come from in the world. That's not something, everything that the world does, especially when you go back thousands of years, that comes from Anunnaki. That's their culture.
Yeah, I would. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That's their culture to
Right.
diminish a woman's capacity and all of that stuff. And
Right.
Everything.
the world being a male chauvinistic type of world, that come from them. You see what I'm saying? That come from them. Um, people say Jesus, like, I got somebody saying here, Jesus never hated on women. He didn't to a degree, all right, but Jesus is
He wasn't
pulling
scared to put a woman in check. I know that.
right. Jesus is pulling the greatest people. The whole fact of Jesus is pulling the greatest trick of all on humankind. You see what I'm saying? He's pulling the greatest trick, and
Greatest psychology trick.
yeah, people don't realize that. Jesus, who sent Jesus? People forget who sent him.
Through Gabriel.
Well, Jesus says, my Father sent me. So
But them here,
if it's his Father that sent him, people have to understand that Jesus didn't come down here to go against his Father. So whatever his Father is on, that's what Jesus is on. No matter how nice he put it, he is here to support what his Father was on. That's why he came. You see what I'm saying? So his Father was on slavery. You best believe Jesus is on slavery. You think Jesus ain't on slavery? And his Father says, slaves be kind to your, masters be kind to your slaves. If you think Jesus don't support slavery, you are sadly fucking mistaken. Jesus supports slavery. He ain't got to say it out his mouth. He done already told you, I'm here to fulfill my Father's word. So people are tricking themselves into thinking that the Son is going against the Father. The Son is not going against his Father. Period.
remember you put that church talk with you. Let that will be done on
Right.
earth.
That's the prayer that he gave.
Right.
Our Father who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. So Jesus is acknowledging that his Father is the boss and that his will is going to be done on earth. So people better wake up to that, and they better wake up fast, because something is on the horizon. And the
So
Bible.
do you ever think about it? Supposed to be like a frequency,
in a
like different vibration and frequency, like, you know what I mean? As in, like, how they go about like sequence and code. Awakening.
I think different parallel worlds are, that's how they divide it into frequency and codes. I mean, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
And that those worlds exist.
That's what I was thinking. I was getting it. And I was like, throughout all the cross reference. I'm like, what is this? It's just like remember, they always the significant numbers 7, 3, 12.
Right.
Other numbers, like, you know what I'm saying? So you just do the cross reference where it's like, where are these numbers playing? How they play in the order? Like how you have 1, 2, and 3 and A, B, and C. That the sequence going in the order with the code with the frequency to arise the awakening the God in you, and then we out of here. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah, that's what this book talks about. Can y'all see this?
Yeah.
That's why I had asked what the word was originally, because in this book, she's talking about like the Kabbalah, the origins of all this stuff, and if y'all look, they're just letters, and she breaks this down. And what I had also wanted to say, Raw, was that this is 10 domes. If you counted the circles, is 10.
Who is that? Who is that you got there? That's in the
I can't see the screen.
Oh, nah. This is just some book that I had got at the flea market.
Oh, the big book of knowledge. Okay. But what's the diagram? I've seen that diagram plenty of times. What's the diagram? It's actually on my poster, that diagram.
Let's see here. It says
To be honest with you, that looks like a factory, like some kind
it's the Sephiroth, the tree of the Sephiroth.
Okay.
Tree of life.
Yeah.
That's one of the trees in the book of truth.
Yeah. Yeah. And I got that same diagram on that conspiracy poster I got. So maybe that's the 10 domes, how it's set up above us. You know, hold it up again. Hold it up again, Raul.
those look like bubbles that could hold
Look,
souls.
this
I want to see what's connecting them. So what's connecting them could actually be what you might call AirPods, or you know what I'm saying? Like you know, if this is all underwater, then what these connectors to the domes would be some type of like, you know, AirPods, like air type of things. You know what I'm saying, that you travel through. It's gonna be such a wonder when you die. See, when you guys die, you're gonna be conscious of this shit. It's gonna be such a wonder to see all this shit for me. I'm gonna be honest with you. You know,
Right.
it's gonna be such a wonder
I
to
ain't
see
gonna-
this shit.
It's the same thing. Like I said, when I see this, it's the best class. I don't know what it is. To think about the
we got
waking up
traverse.
Yeah, it's gonna be a wonder to see all this shit.
Yeah, I agree.
But don't get caught up in the wonder. Just don't get caught up in the wonder. remember,
I'm not trying to
remember,
be ignorant.
remember the goal is to escape. But yeah,
Get up out of here.
all right.
But
So
remember, bro, just like you were saying, do not look up and do not look in front of you. Some people don't know how to make them. He said the exit like is like to the left, not to the right, not in front of you, not up, but to the left. But some people turn back and go into the void. And then remember one of the women with the video, she was like, oh, she went into the light, she turned back, and she went in, she hear a voice. But the archons already know some of the people are going to resist the light. You know what I'm saying? So this is like they don't know that you're gonna turn left because the only thing that focus on their center, the only thing they do is get their primary center attention. So the center of attention is like when you get up, what you're gonna do? Look in front of you, right? Most of the people get up and look in front. They look around. You know what I'm saying? So mostly that's when the light comes. So they only base it off your perception or what you perceive it. So if I get up and start looking at me and be like, oh, okay, let me just walk ahead. Why am I walking ahead? Where am I going? Now they're gonna turn on. Okay, all right, he walking coming to us. All right, let me turn on the light. Let me warm this down, spin it out. You know what I'm saying? So people like us that we trying to do the whole algorithm of the emotion and detachment. We ain't care about no family, no friends.
Mhm.
All that shit is the emotion. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like when you are over on the next side of it, we already know what it is. We're like, all right. So they already scared of us. We right now on this shit, that niggas is scared of us right now.
yeah,
And in
so
the sense, because we are awakening to the knowledge of the frequency of it. And when we over the other side, and we already know where we're going. We already know what it is already. You know what I'm saying?
the most important thing to remember is your surround is where you at. You don't, you know, and I don't want to get into the soul trap right now, but you just got to remember where you at, you know, and you got to remember where you at and where you trying to go. And the first thing that's going to come to you is they thing. So you gotta navigate through that. But let's get to it, y'all. So now we know that Ian is just insert the name of whoever, but please understand we are reading a spell here, and we're reading a spell. So now let's read this knowing that this is this is a spell. So the beginning of the chapters of coming forth by day of the words which bring about resurrection and glory, and of coming out of and entering into Amenta, said upon the day of burial of whoever the victorious, who entereth after coming forth. Here is that person the victorious. He said, "Oh, I see what they're saying." So they saying this spell on behalf of the person. All right. So they're saying this for the person, as if the person is saying it. Okay. So, O bull of Amenta, it is Thoth, the everlasting king, who is here. I am the great God in the bark who have fought for thee. I am one of those
Holy
gods,
shit.
the powers who effect the triumph of Osiris over his adversaries on the day of the weighing of the words. I am thy kinsman, Osiris. I am one of those gods to whom Nut have given birth, who slay the adversaries of Osiris and imprison the Sabo on his behalf. I am thy kinsman Horus. Didn't we go over Nut in, was it the Book of Jude or the Pistis Sophia?
It was the Book of Jude, but Raw, I want to say something. You know how it just mentioned Thoth?
Yeah.
Okay, well, the reason why it mentioned Thoth is because if you read the Emerald Tablets, it says that Thoth established Egypt because he had arrived in Egypt, and whenever he had arrived in Egypt, that it was people in caves and all that, and so he basically had to teach the people in Egypt how to do everything, basically.
You know, that's interesting because in the Babylonian ancient text, it says, you know, a beast will come from the ocean and teach man all sorts of things. I wonder, did Thoth come from the ocean?
It could be that because the Atlanteans were known to be water people as well, and then Aquaman is supposed to be resembling an Atlantean.
Yeah. Thoth has what? A bird head?
Yeah,
Yeah.
something like that.
So he
He
has
has a bird head, like an
the,
eagle.
the bird, the head of a
Yeah,
bird.
and like I was saying, the apparently Thoth and Osiris are like pair.
And what did Osiris look like?
Snoop Dogg.
A dog?
Yeah.
Doesn't look like a black Rottweilers.
That's interesting too. Them black dogs. All right.
Iris was green. Anubis
Yeah.
was the dog.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, you're right. Osiris was green. And
Yeah,
Anubis was the dog. Yeah. So he typically shown as a mummified man with green or black skin, symbolizing rebirth in the fertile Nile soil.
So basically, establishing that Thoth created Egypt, technically, that just proves even more that Egypt was ran by the Anunnakis.
Well, Egypt definitely wasn't ran by black people, to my Kemetic brothers and sisters who think this. All right. Okay, so Thoth has the head of a ibis, a long-beaked wading bird. Wait, hold on a fucking second. Let's go to Google. I need to see what an abyss looks like because
Oh, I thought Abyss was a god, isn't it?
this bird. This is the bird that's at Raj.
Yes, sir.
Do you ever go to Shelby Farms?
Yeah, I've been there before.
This the bird that's in the water with the long legs.
Those are the ones that be hanging around in the water, right?
Yeah.
It's a bunch of them. Matter of fact, they come out of the water as well.
I just left Shelby Farms today, and one of these, and I remember this one he flew towards me going into the water, and he shrieked, and I was like, man, you got the ugliest cry of a bird ever, because it was like a horror cry, like ah, and I was like, what the fuck is that? And it was this dude.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So, and this is what an abyss looks like. It's a water bird. So think about that for a second, Ludwig, based off what you said. So a beast comes, so that lines up with the ancient Babylonian text that says a beast will come from the water and teach man something, because an abyss is surely Thoth would be described as a beast because here he has a human body and a bird head. All right. If that's
Right.
not the definition of a beast, I don't know what the fuck he is, right? But it says that now you know what's so crazy about the ancient Babylonian text saying this is that in Islam right now to this day in Islam it says that the Muslims are waiting for a beast to come from the ocean and speak, and this will signify the end of times when this happens. This is what Muslims all over the world are waiting for, this sign. And I made this comparison
Yeah.
before that. What if it has already occurred? That would mean
Yeah.
Islam is a regenerated type of religion with signs that's people are waiting for signs that's already came. What if Christianity is the same? What if Christianity is a regenerated religion where people are waiting for signs that's already happened? What if people think, what if, so Jesus already came 2,000 years ago. What if that was the return and not the initial?
Or there could always be a second or third coming from a
But they
different
don't,
timeline period.
but I'm saying they don't, that's not what they're looking for in Christianity. They're looking for the return of Jesus. We only got one instance of Jesus. What if that was the return? What if he already came? Raj, I see you talking, but your mic ain't on.
We still can't hear you.
Hold on, I'll mute you on this side. Talk now. Can you talk? Yeah, you disconnected somehow.
Do you see the mute button on the video?
He not
Because if you
muted.
do,
You disconnected because you're not muted on this side.
I'm not.
Okay, we can hear you now.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Okay. I don't know what happened. Okay. The second coming is a representation. Remember in the Bible, Jesus stated that you would do many more things in my name. Okay.
yeah.
That is a metaphor for the return of Christ consciousness. Okay. The Bible is basically talking about consciousness. You leave in a lower level of consciousness from your root chakra all the way to your crown chakra. You see, the reason that they put the crown of thorns on Jesus' head was a representation to keep him from ascending the crown chakra. That's what they was trying to stop. See, so when you read the Bible, you got to realize that it's talking about consciousness going from different levels. Jacob wrestled with an angel. Jacob wrestled with himself because he stole his brother's birthright, so he was operating out of his root chakra and his sacral chakra. Okay, when he became no longer Jacob but became Israel, he was given a new name, and he immediately did what? He made an altar. He prayed to that altar, and he called that altar Pineal, which is the pineal gland. He reached a level of consciousness and woke up to a different person, a different level of consciousness. These are all metaphors for consciousness. The seven chakras. Not the seven chakras, excuse me. The book of Revelation is describing the seven chakras. That's why Jesus said, I got an alt with all you all seven churches. Because the only church that represents the heart chakra is the church of Phileo, which was the church of Philadelphia. Philadelphia is specifically a name for love. But anyway, I thought I'd just put that out there. Because I'm going to be doing some classes on my Facebook page about what I'm telling y'all about as far as the Bible. Because when I dropped religion for 3 years, I got out of the Bible, but I went back to it. Now I'm seeing that these metaphors are really talking about specific body parts. Okay, The temple. The temple is not a building. It's this right here.
Right.
What's inside this brain? That's the temple, the left and the right side. But anyway, I just thought I'd put that out there.
Well, that's funny how you bring that up, Roger, because they have something called the Kundalini, and it has everything to do with what you're talking about. And
The
supposedly,
snake.
yeah, and then like
Snake.
supposedly
That's what the
supposed
serpent does. Your
Yeah.
your blood oil rises up your spine every 28 days. Okay.
Yeah.
And now you Mohad now.
That's the reason why they had to mess with the calendar to throw us off. See, because if you think about it, a woman's cycle is set up what every 28 days. Okay. The moon cycle is what every 28 days.
Mhm.
So they threw that 31 days in there to throw us off, get everything off track. But for those that know, you can't get off track if you know.
That you
But
know.
see, everything that
I have a
everything that you're speaking of is basically achieving divinity on earth. And but at the same time, we have to remember that there's a system to escape. So it's like, I don't know.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Right.
I have a question.
Exactly.
Go ahead.
Mhm.
Are we able to follow you on Facebook?
Who, me? Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Put it in the chat, Raj.
I guess I had to put it in the chat. And hopefully y'all be able to find me. Because every time someone tries to find me, they say, man, I had a hard time trying to find you, and then all of a sudden they find me. But I'll put it in the chat.
All right. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
All right.
Chat.
So let's get back to it, y'all. So it says here, and we're gonna pick up where it says, "I am Toph, who effect the triumph of Osiris over his adversaries on that day of weighing of the words in the eighth house of the prince, which is in Heliopolis." All right, now this is a real place, Heliopolis. So while we reading this, knowing that this is some type of spell, this was a real place. I am I am Tati, the son of Tati, conceived in Tatu and born in Tatu, and Tatu is my name. I am with the mourners and weepers who wail over Osiris in Rikit, and who effect the triumph of Osiris over his adversaries. Ra issued the mandate to Thoth that he should effect the triumph of Osiris against his adversaries, and the mandate is what Thoth has executed. I am with Horus on the day of covering Tesh, and of opening the fountains of the refreshment of the god whose heart is motionless, and closing the entrance to the hidden things in Restar. All right.
Okay, Raw. I'm sorry
Go ahead.
to butt in again, but I have read the book of Raw as well,
Mm-hmm.
and it's funny how Raw and Thoth are both mentioned in this, which is a setting based off of Egypt. Because in the book of Raw, he states that he's from a certain civilization that represents a blue bird-like people.
The Avians.
So
Yeah.
this whole thing is supposed to be Anunnaki, but then we have Ra, who was supposed to be from a different civilization that is a blue bird-like people, but yet the Anunnaki is running this shit. So that's just more proof that there's some fuckery going on more.
Well, see, I
Definitely.
don't get where people, the people. I don't get where people think that ancient Egypt was ran by black people. I just don't get that. That's not what you see on the walls. You see bird people, you see green people, you see blue people, you see, and then they had the colors white and black because you see white skinned people on the walls and you see dark skinned people on the wall. So I don't get where people keep thinking that ancient Egypt was ran by black people. It wasn't. It was ran by aliens, a group of them at that. You know what I'm saying? And a group that wasn't even all the same race of aliens. So you got you got a coalition going on, just like we was talking about last week. I think it was
Right.
that there's a coalition of aliens down here because they're not fighting and yet they all exist. And according to
Right.
what's his name, Paul Hellyer, former defense minister of Canada, that there's different species that have bases on the moon. So they all working together. You know, it makes you wonder if the Elohim was made up of a group of these beings to begin with. We would never know, um, because we
Oh man, I've been saying for the longest that the Anunnaki is just a group of celestial pirates that go around and try to take over certain shit.
could be, could be. We would never know. We would never know. So it goes on to say, I am Horus, as the avenger of that left arm of Osiris, which is in Sekhem. I enter in and I come forth from the tank of flame on the day when the adversaries are annihilated at Sekhem. I am with Horus on the day when the festivals of Osiris are celebrated and when offerings are made to Ra on the feast of the 6th day of the month and on the feast of Tenate in Heliopolis. I am the priest and tattoo and exalt him who is on the height. And the height is what Jesus was talking about. I am the prophet, the prophet in Abydos on the day when the earth is raised. I am he who seeth what is shut up at Restah. I am he who reciteth the liturgies of the soul, who is Lord of Tatum. I am the Sim priest and all that pertaineth to his office. I am the arch craftsman on the day in which the ship of Succaru is laid upon its stocks. And you know what's so crazy as we read through this, if you ever watch Stargate, some of this stuff is in Stargate. Heliopolis, Abydos, and all of this stuff. But I am the arch craftsman on the day in which the ship of Succaru is laid upon its stocks. I am he who seizes the Madoc on the day of the feast of hoeing in Sudanhenin. O ye who bring beneficent souls into the house of Osiris, do ye bring the soul of whoever together with you into the house of Osiris. Let him see as you see, let him hear as you hear, let him stand as you stand and sit as you sit in the house of Osiris. O ye who give bread and beer to beneficent souls in the house of Osiris, do you give bread and beer at the 2 periods to the soul of such and such who is with you? So as I read this, and I'm hearing of once again, you know, this guy tell you who he is. I'm the priest, I'm the prophet, I'm this, I'm that, I'm this, I'm that. You got this whole huge setup, just like Jesus is talking in the Pista Sophia. You have an elaborate setup, an elaborate system, all right? And which means you got a huge organization going on, all right? Somebody had to put this organization into place. And what is it serving? What is the outcome here? What is the big picture and what is it serving? It's all about the soul. You see what I'm saying? It's all about the soul. So
And they're tricking us into believing that it has everything to do with learning lessons when
Right.
it has nothing to do
No.
with learning lessons.
No. And so that's what I was gonna say. We're gonna wait till we get deeper into this text to see. All right, so we know all of this, we know this is all about souls, but what are you doing with that soul? Is this soul being liberated or is it being manipulated? Is the question. You know what I'm saying? And we're gonna be able to discern that based off of who Toph and Osiris and them claim to be.
That's like one of the movies in God of Egypt. That's what I was just about to say. When I don't know if anybody see the God of Egypt.
Yeah, I
That
watched it
movie
once.
with that remember when the girl passed away and she was going into the afterlife. She was about to go into the light. Remember the man? I forgot the man that was trying to save her, but it was basically the same reincarnation thing. But it is the same as like how he not telling you not how to navigate to the afterlife.
Right.
It's basically navigate as to the reincarnation.
Right.
Because what it basically saying is like they're setting up accommodation. So it's like, okay, I passed away. Okay, let me get these get some food. Let me get some certain things. It just accommodates the afterlife to be reincarnated because nothing that liberating by saying where the souls are going, but into the light. What is the light?
And that's
Where does light come from?
and that's a good thing for us to pay attention to is as we
You
read
know what I'm
through
saying?
this, let's because the book of the dead is supposed to be navigation through the afterlife. So as we read through this, let's see are they actually navigating the soul back to the source of creation, or instead, like you said, Yaga, are they navigating the soul to make sure that the soul goes into the light to go back to
See,
reincarnation? You see what I'm saying?
I have a question, Raw.
Yeah.
Is the conference recording?
Oh shit. Nope. I'm glad you said that, Raul.
The recording has started.
Well,
Yes.
we just started, so to the people that's tuning in via recording, we just started, so you didn't miss much. We just read through the first page of the Egyptian Book of the Dead, um,
Hey,
and it,
Raw, I was gonna mention because you're reading the Book of the Dead. Anytime that they're gonna be talking about so-called heaven, they're gonna be calling it the afterlife because that's what they believed in is the afterlife. They're never gonna call it heaven in this book, I don't think, because it's Egyptian.
right. Well, we want to just make sure as we read through this, we want to make sure and see is this trying to navigate souls back, which I don't think it is, trying to navigate souls back to creation. This is trying to navigate souls into reincarnation, all right? Which, you know, if let's just say as we read, and we only read the first page, right? But let's just say as we read through this, we you know, if this is what was going on back then, and this Book of the Dead will be something like 4,000 years old. All right. Um, as I be telling y'all, the reason there is need for Soul Trap updates is because the Anunnaki they change shit on the other side, and how I know when they change is because, you know, I keep researching near death experiences and you know, and seeing what people say. So, you know, of course they're gonna change. If what we're reading now is maybe how a soul actually had to go, we might be reading what souls went through at 4,000 years ago when the system was it wasn't kind of new, but this is 4,000 years ago, so we might be getting a glimpse into what the soul faced 4,000 something years ago when it died, you know what I'm saying, as opposed to what near death experiences say today. um, this will be like our only look into that, because obviously we don't have near death experiences from 4,000 years ago, but a text like this, where would they get this information from? They would have to have gotten it from somebody that knows this is what a soul goes through. You know what I'm saying? So kind of
And
interesting.
this piece of information predates the Bible by thousands of years, right?
Yeah. Yeah. All right. So we read the bread and beer. All right. So look, bread and beer must have been a good thing back then. Bread and beer. Bread and beer. All right. They're asking, Thoth is asking, who started this? Toph? Yeah, Toph. Toph is asking, well, they asking on behalf of Toph to give the soul some bread and beer. O ye who unclose the ways and open the roads to beneficent souls in the house of Osiris, unclose then the ways and open the roads to the soul of this person who is with you. We need to find a name for Ian. Should we just say the soul of the nigga? I'm just playing. I'm playing. But let him enter boldly and come forth in peace at the house of Osiris, without hindrance and without repulse. Let him enter at his pleasure and go forth at his will, triumphantly with you. And let that be executed which he shall order in the house of Osiris. No lightness of his in the scale has been found, and the balance is relieved of his case. All right. So we got a diagram here. Let's take a look at this. So this is the funerary procession in the boat. This is the dead person right here. This person right here is saying the Book of the Dead spells. This is Anubis. This is all remarkable when you think about this is 4,000 years ago. Very, very interesting shit. So you got Anubis over here. What is this he's on? Some type of spoon or something that they're carrying? All very interesting shit. Very, very interesting stuff, man. This is like, all right. So this is notes. The text taken for the basis of the translation of chapter 1 is that of the papyrus of Huneferu. The title here translated is that usual in all the papyri representing the third period of the text. It occurs, however, in the papyrus Ag of Huneferu, who lived in the days of Seti at the beginning of the 19th dynasty. It is also found in the papyrus of Ani, the most common title of chapter 1 in the older manuscripts. I don't know if I'm going to read these notes. These divine powers are Amsta, Happy, Tua Matuf, and whoever, the children of Horus, who stand upon the lotus which springs from the water beneath the throne of Osiris. So it's described in these plates to us, in these notes. Chapter 124 bears the same title in the older manuscripts, which sometimes begin with it. These are two very difficult words, and very different meanings have been assigned to them, but when the entire evidence is examined, the result is plain enough. Each of the words has for determinative the sign expressive of some kind of utterance. It is a something of some kind. Each has for its first letter the causative. I don't think I'm going to read these notes because we don't really... So they're describing the hieroglyphs to us, all right? And we just gonna go with them translating as far as us trying to figure out the basis of the translation, which we're not gonna do. That's getting really too deep into this. In the same religious text, something is the rising from the funeral couch after the recitations made over the dead. The raising up or resurrection here spoken of is said not only of the soul, but of the body of the deceased person. Yeah, this is really above my pay grade. I really don't want to know this much, to be honest with you, because I don't read hieroglyphs. Chapter of raising up the Chu and giving life to the soul in the netherworld. The soul isn't dead, so what would give life to the soul? Chapter of raising up the body, of giving it eyes and the possession of ears, and establishing the head made firm on its props. What is this, man? So this is talking about chapter 17. We ain't even up that far. So these notes are based off the hieroglyphs, and this person, who I forget his name at the beginning, that wrote this book, is justifying he's trying to add authenticity to his translation of certain hieroglyphs. So he's saying these hieroglyphs right here says it is Thoth who is here. And the guy, the translator is saying, I do not wish to imply that this is the verb to be. So this is above our pay grade. We just want the finished product. We don't need the justification for why he's saying he interpreted certain hieroglyphs as such. So we're not going to read through the notes, but the problem is, where do I begin? All right. I don't want to skip through everything because it might be something in here that's good. Like this. Rekit is a locality in the north of Egypt. The mourners and weepers alluded to are chiefly Isis and Nephthys. Tesh is one of the names of Osiris, perhaps as might be inferred from a text at Dendera of his molten image. The god whose heart is motionless is Osiris. Restar, one of the gates of the netherworld. Its situation is specified in chapter 17, line 19. Sechem, Letopolis, where the arm of Osiris had been deposited when the other limbs of the gods were dispersed throughout the cities of Egypt. The tank of flame, as may be inferred from the vignettes of the papyri, is where the sun rises or sets. Tanate is the feast of the seventh day of the month. So, translation of the Turin text, I lustrate with water and tattoo and with oil and abydos, exalting him who is in the heights in excelsis. For this text combines different readings, but it is written and may have another meaning. All right, so this give me a headache reading this shit because I don't want to know this. So one of the designations of Osiris, perhaps the word Ba should be translated ram, for in the Mendesian nome, Osiris was worshipped under this form and was called God of the strong face. The fact is that whether applied to the soul or to a ram, the word Ba is expressive of power or force. The same word under this is used in chapter 120 in the sense of splitting up, and this is clearly the Egyptian concept of the soul, the internal force, that which works within us. All right, so we got some notes here. The word is ideographically written, blank, these hieroglyphs, both the ram and the crane-like bird being called Ba. Some have cleverly inferred that the Egyptians thought that the soul was of a bird-like form, and others have not hesitated to consider Ba as expressive of the cry of the ram. The odd thing is that only the ram has this name, not the sheep or the lamb, who nevertheless indulge in the same cry. The truth is that, in spite of appearances, the word Ba is not onomatopoeic here. Whether applied to the ram or to the heron, which is a bird, the word is expressive of human action and signifies digging through, cleaving, piercing, splitting. The hieroglyphic variants are very expressive. The ram is called an Egyptian Ba on account of the digs which he makes with his head, and a force which has occasioned the name of ram to be given a powerful engine. All right, so apparently the freaking even the Egyptians had some what you might call some variations in using the same hieroglyph to mean different things, which is the basis of the English language, using the same word to mean different things, and it's caused some confusion as it does even in deciphering English language. So the heron is also called Ba because with its bill it cleaves the fishes which it attacks. And the word which we translate soul or spirit is called Ba because it is conceived as something which pierces, penetrates, and divides. It is right to point out to those who may wonder at this Egyptian etymology that the Latin "scio," I know, is etymologically akin to Seco cut securis, an axe, and the Greek whatever, cleave. All right, this gives me a headache. I don't want to read this. This is where is this? Where does this stop? Like, what the fuck?
It stopped on 9. When you go to 10, it's a little bit different.
Okay, I'll continue then. I'll jump down here. All right, and see, look, this what gives me. The latter, who held perhaps the highest sacerdotal office in Egypt as high priest of Ptah at Memphis. It's not, look, some of our cities are named this for a reason. All right. Now,
Exactly.
Raj, by you being from Memphis, you may remember when what's his name? What's the guy they just sued for billions of dollars saying Sandy Hook wasn't real?
Alex Jones.
Yeah, Alex Jones. Alex Jones
Right.
did a thing down here because in the fake pyramid that they got down here in Memphis, and I just ran across this. I'm gonna do a post on it, but they
Right.
found one of the crystal skulls in the attic or roof of the pyramid that they built down here. All right. It was on the news down here in Memphis. The fucking
So you're talking about the Bass Pro Pyramid.
yeah. So,
I've been there already. I've been there several times. I went all the way up to the top, where the restaurant is. Where
Yeah.
you walk to the side, go outside, and look over the scenery that's out there, the river and everything else,
Right.
Mississippi River.
yeah.
I had no idea.
Yeah,
Wow.
neither did I. So they found a crystal skull. This was back when the Memphis Tigers played there. All right.
Hmm.
They found a crystal
That's years
skull. Yeah, they found a crystal skull. And I'm gonna be honest with y'all. I had wrote off the crystal skulls as myth, even though I don't report it a few times, of their authenticity. Um, but now this rejuvenated me to know that those crystal skulls are real because they found one in the fucking roof of this pyramid. Now, understand that this pyramid that's in Memphis was built, and Alex Jones is talking about the builders who built it. Alex Jones related it back then to some type of satanic worship as to why the crystal skull would be up there. And you know what I'm saying? But this is some remarkable shit to just be honest with you. I'm probably going to play that clip for us. Somebody remind me because it's on my phone and we on YouTube right now. But I'll play that clip from the news and Alex Jones that's talking about this, right?
Right.
So it's not a coincidence that Elon Musk has decided to build this big AI here in Memphis. Memphis is a part of is a important piece to ancient Egyptian as we reading in here. It's important, all right. This place is not named Memphis for no reason. It's not
Right.
situated where it's at for no reason, right on the banks of
The
the
Mississippi River is actually the Nile River.
exactly. You see what I'm saying? So
Right.
it's they look when something ain't broke, they don't fix it, which means all they do is repeat history. You know what I'm saying? That's all they do is repeat history. The names and stuff will change, but
Right.
the roadmap, the blueprint is the same. You know what I'm saying? So, that's another reason keep saying I got to get out of Memphis because it's something wicked gonna happen here. All right.
Yeah. He's building the AI brain, the supercomputer is what he's building.
Yeah.
And not only that, they got a sinister plan, with bringing on AI aboard, with his Neuralink. I'm still digging into what Elon Musk is up to, along with Donald Trump as well.
Yeah.
Both of them playing both sides of the fence, man. I'm digging into both of these cats,
And
Yeah.
and what y'all don't know about Memphis is they only got one power place here, which is surprising to me coming from, up north
Yeah.
because this is called a monopoly. MLGW controls all the utilities. They control all the utilities. You pay one company who controls
Water,
all
light,
your
and gas.
utilities, right?
Yeah. I've
So,
never heard of that.
right, that's a
Oh my
monopoly that's
days.
being allowed to stand, and I'm telling you, it's probably because it's got something to do with what the fuck going on. MLG, they need power. MLGW is in cahoots with Elon Musk and them and all that. This,
Well, actually, off of man, what is it? It's a parkway close in. It's in Memphis. I mean, not Memphis, but Millington, where I work at. Off of I can't think of that highway. When I figured out, I'm gonna tell y'all. Anyway, it's over by Jones Orchard where I buy all my fruits and vegetables and stuff. Anyway, it is about 6 miles of nothing but what do they call those things? Solar panels. I
Yeah.
mean, they are just putting them up everywhere. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go by there and do a video and try to give it to you some kind of way, Raw, where you can put it on the
Yeah.
class or whatever. Because I don't know how to do all that stuff. All that stuff you be doing on Instagram and
Yeah.
YouTube. I don't know how to do all that. So basically, I do a little video and I can send it to you. I mean, but they are just putting these solar panels up like clockwork on both sides of the road, going all the way up. I mean, at least 6 miles. It started out with a mile. I ain't paying no mind, and I got to realize, say, wait a minute, they get deeper and deeper and deeper with these solar panels.
They
Then
need
when
energy.
Elon Musk popped up, I put 2 and 2 together. It's got to be from when he needs to power whatever he needs to power. He's got the source. That's
Right.
one thing I can say.
Because that's what I was about to say. Like, if the wind blow hard in Memphis, people go without power. Like, the infrastructure is very shaky here. You know what I'm saying? So
Right.
this wouldn't be an ideal place to build a super computer that needs so much power because the
Unless you got
infrastructure,
solar panels.
right? The infrastructure is not here for that. So when you see that the infrastructure is not here for that, then you got to actually, well, Elon Musk ain't stupid. So why did he build it here then?
Exactly.
It's got to do something with it must be here for some other type of reason. And so, we did a conference. I did a conference on Elon Musk back in the day. Well, not so much back in the day. A couple years ago, I think it was last year, maybe, where his nanny says that Elon opened up a portal when he was little, and they went into it. And guess who they saw when they went into the portal? Toph. Toph was in the
Portal.
yeah, it was in the portal. So the woman described it when she described it, she was hired by the mother. She said they're in the Illuminati. All right. She was told that Elon Musk is not the Antichrist, but he will usher in the Antichrist, is what this woman was told, and that she was to protect Elon Musk with her life, right? Being his nanny. And when Elon opened up the portal, she said she grabbed him by his leg and it rushed them both in there. And she said while she was in there, Toph was in there, and Toph grabbed her by the neck and was choking her out, she said. And she said she managed to whisper out the words, "Jesus, save me." And he let her go, and it ended the whole portal thing, and they came up out of the portal. So,
Right.
it's
Wow.
us reading this and the correlations. It's not a coincidence. I don't believe in coincidences. Memphis plays a part in the ushering in of who the Antichrist gonna be, which is ironic because I just posted this, was it today or yesterday? I think it was, where the one preacher was saying in Revelations, I think
Oh, that dude didn't know what he was talking about. I saw that. Yeah.
But
he's not a preacher. I don't
no,
know
he's
what
not
he
a
is,
preacher, and he got some things
Right.
wrong. But I read the verse.
Yeah.
It is talking about building an image or a statue
Yeah.
and breathing, that they had the power to give it life, and that is that would be like a robot in modern day times that,
Yeah.
you build
he
something.
had power to give life unto the image of the beast.
Yeah,
That the image of the beast should both speak and cause as many as would not to worship the image of the beast should be killed.
Right. And then this,
And that deals with that does deal with artificial intelligence because they're going to use artificial intelligence to shoot something with Project Blue or Project Blue beam.
right,
One or the other is going to be shot up in the air. So here in America, we'll see Jesus.
right,
Over yonder, they'll see Buddha. Over here, they'll see Muhammad.
right.
All this is designed to do what? Bring in a new world order.
And give the
Have
mark,
people so scared.
you know, the
Faith,
mark, whether
alien
on
faith.
the forehead
Gotta keep
or,
bringing up all-
right.
Yeah.
The mark, whether it's on the forehead or the arm, the right arm that allows you to, you know, shop or whatever you ain't gonna be able to do unless you got that mark or that implant, that chip, you're not gonna be able to do anything. You know what I'm saying? So,
And not to short. And see, the pilot program was COVID. They didn't force anybody to do anything. People with some of the folks lined up like cattle when got that shot. They told them, they said, well, if you want to be in the military, then
Keep
you
talking,
of
Rob.
course you'll have to take the shot. If you want to work at the hospital, you'll have to take the shot. So basically, you had a choice: leave this job, save my health, or take a chance with my health and take this shot with all this nanotechnology and all this other stuff in here. Yeah. So basically, the stage is being set for what they have, the agenda that they have for us, which is Agenda 2030. Own nothing and be happy. Be living in 15-minute cities. All that stuff is coming our way. The digital ID, the carbon footprint. What else is there? They got a whole bunch of stuff planned for humanity. That's the reason why I think in Canada they're starting to protest. I think Spain, they're protesting against this digital ID because people realize that it's basically total surveillance. They're gonna know everything about you, and whatever you're doing, they're gonna know everything.
Has anyone seen the calendar for 2030?
Yeah, it has everything on. Yeah, it still has all the dates on it and everything. My calendar has it on it because I believe me, I looked that far because I'm retiring 2030, if not before.
Did you see that on 2030 calendars on the devices? There's no holidays on there?
On my cell phone, there is.
Really?
I have holidays on there. Yeah, I checked it
For
today.
2030?
Yeah, for 2030. Yeah, it still has all the holidays on there.
Oh, weird.
Mine does. I
Mine-
have what's called a Google Calendar.
Yeah,
What
my
I have.
phone doesn't.
Your phone doesn't?
No, my iPhone doesn't have it.
Oh,
Yeah,
I got
mine-
Google. It's on there. If you have Google Calendar, those dates will be on there.
really.
Yeah.
Holidays removed from Google Calendar. Wow.
Because I checked mine today, and I saw mine because I saw something on either TikTok or Instagram saying that the holidays were taken off in 2030 because that's when everything going to take place. They want to have all these 15-minute cities in place, electric vehicles, no gasoline vehicles. They want to have all this stuff in place by 2030, which I don't see it happening. People gonna wake up.
Yeah.
On my iPhone, when I go to 2030, ain't no holidays on my calendar neither.
Really. Well, they, you know,
Yeah, they did say that was in the plan though. That's what I'm saying. All right, look at the movie. There's a next movie coming out like this Friday called The Great Flood. Remember that? Remember this gonna happen in America with the whole flood that's gonna happen.
Mm-hmm.
They have in the movie that's coming out. So everything that they're about to do, they do put it in the movie now subliminally because they know people is so ignorant. You're not going to pick it up. You know what I mean? And people not going to watch it or pick up certain like scenes, not certain scenes, like certain signals and like certain things. 'Cause remember, so everything that they're doing, they have to say it before they do it. They have to tell you blatantly what they're doing before they do what they're going to do.
I
You know what I
don't
mean?
remember this.
So you go check out that movie though.
It's
Eagle
saying
Friday, Great
I,
Flood.
it's saying I already watched it. I don't remember watching
What? The movie?
it. Yeah.
No, no, it's coming out. It's coming out this Fridays. Remember that
Oh,
saying? Remember the flood that's coming to America, that's coming to America. They just putting it out. So people that's gonna do, you know what I mean? If you read between the lines, you know they mix the truth with the lies. So it's called a great
another
flood, and
flood
you're
is
gonna see
coming.
how.
I know that for
Yeah, you
sure.
yeah.
Another flood is coming.
Yeah, so with the flood that's coming, remember they tell you so what they're doing, they have to tell you and how they got how what they're doing, they have to like tell the public what they're doing. But we know the public is ignorant and they don't have certain knowledge or certain wisdom, so they're not gonna read between the lines. Certain people gonna watch the movie and just think it as entertainment, when it's actually they're literally showing you like, bro, this is how it's gonna start. This is
This
what
is
we're doing.
coming. Yeah,
They
it's
did
coming.
they did the 2012. They did San Andreas. They did what you call it? Now they do this apocalypse, some type of movie where every type of movie they put is the ending or something like that, where something that they're gonna do with catastrophic. You know that
Catastrophic.
word I'm
Yeah,
saying, but
it's
catastrophic,
coming.
right? Something
Yeah.
crisis in the world to
Catastrophic.
make something, yeah, right, to
You
make a
know,
whole disruption.
you know what's crazy?
Mm-hmm.
We sitting up here talking about Elon Musk and Memphis and all of that. Elon Musk, baby's mother. A lot of people didn't see this post because
Oh yeah, she
Instagram is,
made a statement.
yeah,
Right.
is shadow banning my page. But Elon
I
Musk,
should put
baby
a post
mother,
up about that, Rod. I know what you was finna say. Yeah.
is her
I
name
need
is
you to put a post up
Grimes.
about that.
She's some type of Canadian singer or something, but she did an interview saying that there's about to be a massive depopulation event. Or no, a massive population drop. And she was saying that hopefully they would get enough people to do art before the massive
Right.
population drop happens, because
Before it
after that
before it drops off.
it's not going to be nobody
Mm-hmm.
left to do art, and they don't think AI will be capable of making art. So they want, so I mean, this shit is coming. It's going to happen, and I keep trying to explain to people, man. Look, here we reading the Egyptian Book of the Dead, which is trying to tell you how to navigate the afterlife. Get the soul
Mm-hmm.
trap session and learn what to do in the afterlife. This is that's your real
Right.
life. This is not a real life that we live in. This ain't real.
Mm-hmm.
This is the fake life.
Right.
The real life is the only thing promised to you in this life is death. That's the only promise ever made to you when you was born, is that you're gonna die. So that should tell you that since we know the soul lives on, this physical world is not the real life. This is fake, phony, and false. And everybody is doing whatever they can not to die in the world. We try to eat right, we work out, we do all of these things to try to extend life as much as possible, as if we can get past the only promise that was ever made to you, and that is that you're going to die. So it's not very bright for people to not want to get the soul trap session. Why wouldn't you want to learn about the promise made to you? Why wouldn't you want to learn about your real world, your real life, and what to do? So you willing to gamble and take a gamble on going into the afterlife and not knowing a thing, when you done heard about all these different entities and beings that exist in the real world, which is the spiritual world. You willing to try to go there and not know nothing, and face beings that know everything. And yet in this fake world, you done bought life insurance and all of this other dumb shit. You know what I'm saying? Motherfuckers buying Christmas gifts and all of this other dumb shit, sipping eggnog. Like, some of y'all ain't gonna live to see Christmas. Let's be real. I tell people all the time, man, I got 67 people on my Facebook. My Facebook is a very personal, private page. I only got 67 people on there. All right. All year long, it's been multiple deaths. People going to funerals, people that's in that 67 that's been touched by death. All year long. That's all I've seen. Like religiously, every month, somebody died, somebody died, somebody died. And I was asking myself, like, damn, you only got 67 friends. How come you seeing more death on your Facebook, than This don't make sense. But it do make sense when you think about you live in a dome underwater, and they are and this dome is overpopulated, and they are going to reduce the population. So then it begins to make a whole lot of sense. All right. And it's just beginning, it's just ramping up. It's not about to go down. It's just ramping up. Motherfuckers is gonna see death in 2026. You can believe that on a mass level. This shit is gonna ramp up so much, man. People, you're not gonna be able to you're not gonna be able to even lie to yourself and say this is a coincidence. That's how much death you about to each and every one of us is gonna be touched by death. You know how they say what is it? The 7 degrees of knowing somebody that knows somebody or that knows somebody. You about to see that. You about to see that. You are about to see that. And it will be no mistaking that this is a plan. This ain't no coincidence. This shit is being planned out. People about to start leaving up out of here. And everybody gonna feel it. Everybody gonna feel it. You know what I'm saying? It's a shame that's what it's gonna take for people to start waking up, but that's what's gonna happen. But let's get back to it. So we got Memphis is mentioned in here. This is not a coincidence. The ceremony which is here referred to, and once again, I don't want to read these notes. All right. But I will skim through them just to see if we see anything that is useful. Like this, for example. I'll read this whole thing. So the ceremony which is here referred to consisted in a grand procession around the walls of the great sanctuary of Ptah, which is in Memphis, conveying upon a sledge the bark in which the coffin of the god was supposed to rest. Sokaru signifies the confined, and Ta Sokaru is only a form of Osiris. All right. What the fuck? All right, Raw Therapy, that's it for today, man. Join the School of Esoteric Knowledge. Can't end it just like that.
Can I interject something really quick?
Please do.
I just wanted to introduce myself since it's the first time I've actually been on here. I wanted to say hello to you personally.
Okay.
Just like what I heard today.
So glad to have you here. What's your name again? I'm sorry.
Lori Parr.
Lori, how you doing, Lori? That's my sister's name. Spelled exactly the same, yes. I hope you're not like her.
But it's a good one.
That's good. Glad to have you here.
Yes, thank you. It's good to be here.
Feel free to jump in anytime you like. All right.
Okay. Thank you.
All right. So it's saying here that Ta Sokaru is a form of Osiris. That's something that we need to like understand, because it just told us that Ta is a place at Memphis. So Ta Sokaru, it says Sokaru signifies the confined, and Ta Sokaru is a form of Osiris. So how do we, like, what is this? Osiris is not just a person, it's a place. Abundant details of the ceremony will be found in the plates of M. Mariette's Abydos and following. The King Sede is represented as Sem priest presiding at the festival. All right. In the later recensions,
Which, my bad, Raw. I was just going to say, since these certain names are certain places in like certain states or whatnot, that's just more proof that Egypt is the new America or America, whatever.
Right. It is. It is. You know, that Grand Canyon, you know, and Forbidden Knowledge talks about this a lot about, because he said he visited there and they have places, you know, that is cordoned off. It's not like it used to be, you know, maybe 30, 40 years ago where you could go wherever you wanted. But it's cordoned off now because people have discovered, you know, like there's a Sphinx down there. There's
portal down there also.
Yeah, I believe so.
And not to cut you short, but really, I think America is really Egypt, and they claim Egypt is over yonder to throw us off. I believe Egypt is right here in the United States, because there's just so much stuff that lines up that they claim is in Egypt that's already here. Because we got the same things that are in those tombs and in those caves over here in America.
Yeah.
The Mayans, their pyramid got the same stuff on it.
Right.
Yeah.
Definitely something to consider about, all of these places, like I'm pretty sure that there's a pyramid here in Memphis somewhere,
Yeah.
Um,
And they know it's here and it's hid. They're not
Yeah.
gonna tell us about it. Somebody gonna sooner or later discover it.
Cleveland, Ohio has a
Hey,
pyramid.
hey,
Yeah. Go ahead,
hey,
Shutters.
hey, Rock. To add on to what he was saying, it got to be here because if you look at all the symbols, you know what I'm saying? Anubis, everything, every animal that they got that they has as a deity is only native to America. It ain't native over there in Africa. So
Bingo.
red flag.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I
What page
believe
you read, Rraw?
what page?
Sorry, they're supposed to be hiding one in the mountains of Alaska too, I've heard.
Yeah. We're on page 9.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
not sure what it's called, but yeah, you can't visibly see it, but it's there.
And I believe, what I'm starting to believe is by it being these different pyramids all over our world, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
I posted this a long time ago on my page. So a person was in Egypt taking pictures, right? And they took a picture of the Great Pyramid in Gaza, and they didn't think nothing of it when they took the picture. They couldn't see anything or nothing like that. But when they went home and developed the film, the picture, the pyramid had a broad beam of light coming out of it. Straight, it was straight, and it was going straight up into the sky. All right, which let me know that the pyramids, one, are still active. Two, they are power plants of some sort. And three, they were built there, just like Tesla was building power plants before Rockefeller stopped them. Tesla was building, like, for lack of a better term, pressure points all through the world where he said it will harness power and give the whole world free energy. You see what I'm saying? So the pyramids seem to be something like that take energy from the earth, and these aliens know how to harness that power, and we can't even see it, but these pyramids are shooting energy up to beings or whoever who have the power to access it, or with their technology, whatever, right in front of our eyes, and we don't even know this is going on. You know what I'm saying? But
Right.
yeah, it's just something to think about, man. Like, and then with that map we saw from last week, it makes you think. You hear about places like Atlantis and the other ones and stuff like that, and you wonder, are those different domes outside of the Antarctic ice wall? So
I was going to mention last week that I saw a map that basically shows how the setup is for Earth, but it's just exactly the same way for all these other domes. I was going to mention that last week.
yeah, get that diagram and bring it to us so we can see it. All right, I'm gonna continue, y'all. In the later recensions of this chapter is lengthened out by other petitions. The deceased asks, among other things, to appear before thee, O Lord of the gods, to attain the region of Ma'at. May I rise up a living God. Let me shine like the divine host which is in heaven. Let me be as one of you. Let my steps be lifted up in cherubah. Let me see the ship of the holy Sahu, Orion, traversing the sky. Let me not be prevented from seeing the lords of Tuat, the netherworld, smelling the fragrance of the sacrificial offerings made to the divine hosts and sitting with them. Let the cherub, the priestly ministrant, make invocation over my coffin. Let me hear the prayers of propitiation. Let the divine ship Neshemet advance for me. Let not my soul and its possessor suffer repulse. Now, this is another thing I'm thinking about as we read this. So, as this dude is warning in, let me do this, let me do that. He's warning in to a system. All right. Maybe we don't want to be in a part of this system. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I certainly don't want to be a part of all of this. All right. I think,
I'm kind of agreeing with you on that, Raw, because I read. I'm. In other words, the version you're reading, I'm reading a totally different version.
okay.
Okay. And I've dipped into chapter 7. However, there is it's called the Book of Gates, where the soul travels 12 hours through the night. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Then you have a book called the Book of Opening of the Mouth, where the ceremony symbol is symbolic, and the deceased senses of sight, hearing, smell, eating and drinking and speaking, which are essential for navigating the underworld and enjoying eternal life. So I got to think, what the hell? I got a light body right now.
Right.
I barely eat. I eat one meal. What the hell I want to eat in the afterlife for? Why should my senses be revived? You know what I mean?
Right.
So,
And it your you know, to revive your senses is so that you can enjoy life. You see what I'm saying? And that would mean a life like we are similar to right now, which is a life we all trying to get a, you know, in death. I'm not trying to repeat this. You know what I'm saying? We're not trying to do this again. You know what I'm saying? Because if you're gonna revive my senses and stuff like that, then that means, you know, everything that goes with, you know, even like for example, digestion and all of that stuff, gas, flatulence, all of that. I mean, that's all a part of that. You see what I'm saying?
That's being back in the physical body.
Right. And who wants that? Nobody really wants that per se. You see what I'm saying? So
right.
This, you know, we have to analyze this stuff, and I believe that what we're reading here is them going to to another place and being, for lack of a better term, you know, they're gonna be reincarnated into, you know.
You also have to realize that the weighing of the feather and the heart.
Right. Yeah.
That's, you have to go through that also. So what the hell why am I worried about my heart
right.
in the afterlife?
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Whether my heart is going to be, if my heart is heavy, oh hell, well, I'm not righteous. But if my heart is light, I'm righteous, and I'm able to be accepted in this afterlife, so to speak.
Right.
Whatever this afterlife is that they have in here for us to read and discover.
And then something else we're not really paying attention to is, I mean, we all paid attention to it, but we didn't connect the dots on that. And that is, these people, Anubis has the head of a dog. You know, Osiris is what I think green, and Toph is whatever, a bird. I don't think you know, that's not the world where we come from. All right, where dogs are talking, where you got a dog, where people have these, you know, this whole, you know, it just makes me think of Abraxas. This dude has a rooster head and serpent feet. Like, where the fuck are we talking about? Is this like someplace in the Men in Black movie, like where, I mean, like, what are we talking about here? I don't want to go there. You know what I'm saying? It's, I mean, like, I think this is like, I think the Book of the Dead is actually spells to get people to go to wherever these people was from. You know what I'm saying? Dog head people, blue avian people, bird people, you know, green people. I mean, where else would they? I mean, this is where they went. They went, you know, Toph had to go back to where he's from. Osiris had to go back to where he's from. Anubis went back to.
You're absolutely right, Raw, because in the book of Thoth, he talks about how to travel through space, and the way that he explains how to travel through space is not in a linear direction. He says to travel through space that you have to move through angles. Some shit.
So yeah, but they're going back to their home, and obviously this would not be our home, right? So, and you know whether or not we can find our home where we came from, because I don't think any of us here are like new souls that came directly from creation. I think we all come from different places throughout the universe where our souls was, and we were recruited to come to Earth, you know, to come do this. But that's not, you know, I don't think we're gonna ever find where I don't want to call it home, but I don't think we're any of us as a soul is gonna ever be able to find that place where we came from before we came to Earth. I think that's lost to us, you know, forever. I do think though that, you know, of course I think that, you know, home is where creation is, and that's where we need to try to get to. But like this, we if somebody would follow this, you would end up wherever they came from. Osiris and Thoth and all, you would go back because they didn't obviously go back to creation. All right. They went back to where they're the boss of it. You know what I'm saying? That's where they went to. So, you know, it's really something to think about, you know. But let's keep going. So an invocation to Osiris follows. Hail to thee, Prince of Amenta, Osiris, Lord of Nefiru. Sounds like Nibiru. Huh. Nibiru. All right. I don't believe that's a coincidence. Grant that I may advance in peace towards Amenta, and that the lords of Tassert may receive me and say to me, salutation, salutation, and peace. Let them make, you know, which is actually assalamu alaikum, peace be unto you, right? Shalom, peace be unto you, right? Let them make for me a seat by the prince of the divine powers. Let the two Chenempta goddesses, Isis and Nephthys, receive me in presence of Uneferu the victorious. Now, there's some here that they do have two women, you know, that's in power. And they talk about. Isis, though, was a real person. I don't know who Nephthys is, but Isis was supposedly a real person, a very real person. All right. Let me be a follower of Horus and Restal and of Osiris and Tatu. Let me assume all forms for the satisfaction of my heart in every place that my genius Ka wisheth. And he's talking about his soul. The following rubric is found as early as the 19th dynasty in connection with this chapter, but it seems to have originally been attached to chapter 72. If this if this discourse is learnt upon earth or is written upon the coffin, he, the deceased, may come forth upon every day that he pleaseth, and again enter his house without impediment. Now, what that verse just said is, it said, if this discourse is learnt upon the earth, or is written upon the coffin, that the deceased person may die upon every day that he please, and again enter his house without impeding, which is reincarnation, that this person will have the ability to reincarnate at will. And there shall be given to him bread and beer and flesh meat upon the table of Ra. He shall receive allotment in the fields of Aru, the Elysian fields of Egyptian mythology, and there shall be given to him there wheat and barley, for he shall be flourishing as when he was upon the earth. So they're talking about bodies being, you know, reincarnated, because you have to be a body to eat bread, beer, and flesh meat. All right. Chapter I is followed in M. Naville's edition by another, which the learned editor calls IB. This chapter is found in so very few copies, blah, blah, blah. All right, it's called the chapter of introducing the mummy into the Tuat on the day of burial. The 124th chapter bears a similar title. The word here translated mummy is probably not to be understood of the visible mummy, but of the living personality which it enclosed. The chapter opens with an invocation, hail to thee, who art in the sacred region of Amenta, the Osiris, the deceased, knows thee and thy name. Defend him from those worms. What? Defend him from those worms which are in Restyle, who live upon the flesh of men and swallow their blood. Parasites, perhaps? The names of the worms were given, but in consequence of the gaps in the text, they cannot be recovered now. The chapter finished with prayers in which the deceased identifies himself with Horus, who has taken possession of the throne which his father has given him. He has taken possession of heaven and inherited the earth. Sounds like murder. And neither heaven nor earth shall be taken from him, for he is Ra. And you know what? Actually, in one of Zechariah Sitchin's books, he says he believes that Murdoch is Ra. All right. The eldest of the gods. His mother suckles him and offers him her breast, which is on the horizon at dawn. Chapter 2, for coming forth by day and living after death. O thou only one who shinest from the moon. Now, why would the moon be in there when we talking about the afterlife and death? Because we know the moon is the soul trap reincarnation center. All right. Let me come forth amid that train of thine at large, and let me be revealed as one of those in glory. And when the Tuat is open to the gods, let such and such come forth to do his pleasure upon earth amid the living. All right. Let's ask, what is Tuat? Because it's being used differently right now. Am I spelling it right? What is Tuat? Tuat.
Tuat.
Tuat is the realm of the dead. It's the underworld through which the deceased must travel to reach blessed existence with the gods. Hold on. Tuat or Duat is the realm of the dead. It is the underworld through which the deceased must travel to reach blessed existence with the gods. A vast hidden region beneath or beyond the earthly world where the sun travels at night and where the dead undergo trials, transformations, and judgment. It is not simply a place of punishment, but a structured spiritual landscape of gates, caverns. This is the same shit that me and Roger just talking about. You have a hierarchy here of places, just like in the Pistis Sophia that Jesus described, that must be navigated correctly using the spells and knowledge preserved in the Book of the Dead. So once again, here you have we actually are reading what you may say as the Egyptian equivalent of the Pistis Sophia, because in the Pistis Sophia, Jesus tells you about the places, that you got, that the soul got to navigate and go through, and the gates and all of this stuff. So, I mean, what do you think about this?
The only missing piece is the female side of it, because there's no female mentioned at all yet.
Well, it will be. It's coming up. Remember I spoke about the Holy Trinity?
Yeah.
The Holy Trinity is Osiris, Iris, and Horus. You see, Osiris, I remember you was talking about someone being cut up and body disassembled and put in all different places.
Simeon.
Set did his brother Osiris like that. And Horus was the one that wanted to avenge his death. Okay?
Not to cut you off, Raj, but what if, because the guy name was Simeon, I want to say Tutu or something like that, but what if,
something like that.
What if he's the reincarnation of, the one that they did here in ancient Egypt?
Osiris?
Yeah.
Yeah, it could be. Because he here's what made me. I had to go a little bit deeper.
His name was
So
Simeon Toko.
Simeon Toko, yeah.
I had to go a little bit deeper because I said, well, if something is cut up, how in the hell can it re get itself back together?
Right.
Then I found out if you take a starfish and cut it in half, guess what? It comes back together. So that led me to believe that Osiris body parts. Matter of fact, Isis and it's her sister resurrected him.
Right.
Horus.
Yeah.
He was resurrected.
Right. Yeah.
Found that out. Right. Mm-hmm.
Right. The same thing with Jesus, as like Jesus.
Right.
And to add to that, and I haven't researched this yet. Before I post it, I'll try to look into stuff. But somebody posted something of one of the things that one of the 5 things science has never been able to explain, and it was that a guy had his leg amputated and it grew back overnight. You know what I'm saying? Which to me would scream, alien all day long, right? But
Yeah, definitely reptilian alien stuff.
yeah, so yeah. I mean, my whole take on this is when you look back at the ancient Egyptian hieroglyphs and you see a dog head and a bird head and a blue person and a green person, these aliens have been here since the beginning, right? We've never been without them. It's just that here you can see that they are clearly accepted by the people, and why wouldn't they be? Because they hold the power. You see what I'm saying? So, I mean, they've been here. It's not a new thing that aliens are here. This is not nothing new. This is the reality of the situation. Is these beings have been here since the beginning of time, and they have. I mean, if they don't teach us stuff, we don't know stuff, because humanity was made to be dumb and manipulated.
Hey,
so,
not to cut you short, Rob, but
yeah.
I read somewhere where the Nephilims had sex with birds, animals, and I couldn't figure out where it was. It's in Enoch, Book of Enoch. So I read the Book of Enoch. I have a Ethiopian Bible, and it talked about how the offsprings began to sin against birds, beasts, reptiles, and fish. So now you can see why they got these human bodies and bird heads. That's what they did.
That would be something there. That would be something, and would explain a lot too.
Yeah, right.
That would explain definitely explain a lot. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right, let's continue. So, all right, it says, "O thou only one who shinest from the moon, let me come forth amid that train of thine at large, and let me be revealed as one of those in glory. And when the Tuat is open to the gods, let so and so come forth to do his pleasure upon earth amid the living." This chapter occurs in only 2 of the ancient MSS collided by Neville and somebody else. It's also found in the papyrus of Ani. The sole and only one is one of many appellatives of the sun. He is here represented as shining in or from the moon. And as somebody, one of my lives was talking about the shining ones, I did that's what the Elohim is called. That's what the word Elohim actually means, the shining ones. And so, in the Pistis Sophia, where we hear that Jesus donned the garment that made him shine so bright, that the archons, couldn't, could barely see him and all of that stuff. These beings appear as shining, all right, very shining or brilliant or beings of light, So here mentioned here is, he is here represented as shining in or from the moon. Multitude, throng, train here put for the heavenly host. I don't know what that means. Osiris is the leader of the host. Something forth out of doors at large in opposition to enclosure in the tomb. All right, let's go to chapter 3. Oh, Tamu. I'm just thinking Timu. So now I got to look this. I got to see what this means because I'm thinking Timu. Now I want to know what Timu means. Is Timu the place where you get cheap clothing and shit? Actually, a play on this because
It could be though. You never know.
it would trip
It
me
could
out.
be.
It's not a place but a god. An older transcription of the name now usually written Atum or Tim Tum. Tamu is the great creator god Adam, the self-begotten sun god who arises out of the primeval waters and brings the first gods in the ordered world into being. All right, so this god comes from the waters. Now, the question is, okay, so looking at this from a Sumerian standpoint, we know coming from the waters would simply mean traveling through the waters because the water is not a place of origin for nobody because we live in the ocean we live in a dome underwater. So somebody coming out of the waters would mean they came from someplace else but traveled through the waters to get here. All right.
Isn't there a hieroglyph of Enki being in like a fish suit or some shit?
Is this it? I don't know. Let's so it's saying he traveled through the waters and brings the first gods. That would be okay. So look, Timu is the great creator god Adam, the self-begotten sun god who arises out of the primeval waters new and brings the first gods. So he brings people with him, the first gods, and the ordered world into being. So he establishes order in the world, all right, meaning put together a system of government. In some passages, he speaks as the only one who came into existence and knew, and as Ra in his first rising, showing that Timu and Ra are closely identified aspects of the same solar power. The self-begotten Son God. All right, now understanding that if there's no sun, everything freezes to death. This is why they will be calling this dude the self-begotten sun god. All right, because at the bottom of any ocean, it's cold as fuck. It's dark and it's cold. You can't see. And if you a mammal, well, not a mammal, not like a fish mammal that's accustomed to that, a cold-blooded animal. If you a warm-blooded mammal, you're not gonna be able to survive at the bottom of the ocean. So I think that's where we get these sun gods is because these people bring their own source of warmth with them in the, which looks like a sun. You know what I'm saying? A sun. It's like in the Bible, the first verse. God hovered over the faces of the water, of the deep, right? And then he said, let there be light. That was the first light that God made, but it doesn't say that's a sun. It just said that was light. That's not a light. That first light God talks about in the Bible does not provide warmth as the sun does. It simply provided light so that they could see. Then later on in Genesis chapter 1, verse, I think it's 14, is where God says he places the sun and the moon inside the firmament. You see what I'm saying? It's differences to, if you looking at this from a Sumerian standpoint. This is why waters are primeval waters. All right. This is the waters of Tiamat, an ocean. And see, me knowing that, and when I read shit like this, it's like, surely they know as well. But we have here somebody perpetuating the same lies as the system and not telling us the truth. All right. So you saying the self-begotten sun god came out of the waters and brings the first gods and the ordered world into being. This is, So in chapters and glosses of the Book of the Dead, the deceased sometimes declares, I am the God Timu in my rising, aligning himself with Adam's creative and regenerative power as the sun. Timu also appears in explanations that link various routes, gates, and regions of the afterlife to the road by which his father Timu travels, presenting him as the solar deity whose daily journey structures both cosmos and underworld. All right, let's get back to it. Now, this is something we overlook, or at least I overlook. Look, it says, O Timu, who proceeded from your Hinu, who are resplendent as the lion face. Now, in the Pistis Sophia, Jesus described the lion face power. All right. So here we have the lion face, another lion face. It can't be two of them. And then, if you think about it, in the book of Ezekiel, I think, didn't Ezekiel describe one of the faces of the thing that he saw as having a lion face? Am I wrong with that, or?
In Revelation chapter 4, they talk about the lion, the bear, the leopard face. They describe the beast that's at the throne of God.
Mm-hmm.
So you're right. Yeah, it's in Revelation.
Okay. All right. So here we got 3 different texts mention the lion face.
Mm-hmm.
And who strewest thy words to those who are before thee. So, you know, when I see something like that, for you people that's got the soul trap session, I would be telling y'all, don't be surprised if you see some type of, you gonna see whatever the archons want you to see, but don't be surprised if you see some lion face being trying to manipulate or exert some type of authority over you, because he's been mentioned now 3 times in 3 different ancient texts. So to continue, it says, here cometh the faithful person from the band of those who do the bidding of thy words. O ye seamen of Rraw, at the gloaming of the day, let this dude live after death like Rraw daily. Now, do you think it's a coincidence that they're calling these people seamen? All right. Seamen, wow. The waters. Once again, if you look at this as from the views of the Sumerian text, this is why we under maritime law, even though we live on land, is because this whole project of Earth and all of that, it's a sea mission. This is a seafaring mission, and they are going by the rules of sea. So that's why they're saying, "Oh, seamen of Rraw." Now, why would Rraw have seamen? Not seamen, but seaman, SEA men, Navy people, let's call them, Navy personnel. Why would Rraw have Navy personnel? Because we're underwater. You see what I'm saying? And we are under the rules that govern when you are up underwater. So here it continues. Here the helmsman is always of a ship. As Ra is born from yesterday, so he too is born from yesterday. And as every god exalteth in life, so shall this person exalt as they exalt in life. I am Toth as he goeth forth from the house of the prince in Heliopolis. Notes. The only ancient copy of this chapter is in the papyrus of Ameneb, and here it is imperfect. A personification of the Nile. The later text read these hieroglyphs, the great goddess in the water. There's something there and I'm missing it. The great goddess in the water. Who would be the great goddess in the water? Because Tiamat is a female planet. That's one. Didn't we talk about I know Raj, you kept talking about what did you call it? That's in the beast in the ocean?
Behemoth.
Yeah, Behemoth. But that's not a female, right?
No, one of them is a female, one is a male.
Oh, okay.
The Leviathan.
The Leviathan. Is the Leviathan a woman?
The Behemoth is female. I
Oh,
have to go back and check my notes.
you said the Behemoth is the female,
Yeah,
not the
I
Leviathan.
have to check my notes. I got it written down. One is 3,000 miles long. The other one is 5,000.
Yo.
Yeah, right there. I wrote it down somewhere. Let me see.
Join the School of Esoteric Knowledge at therrawreport.com.